Hello and welcome to our discussion today. We want to briefly discuss the business model canvas. So basically, the business model canvas is a visual chart, right? And it helps with developing a new or documenting an existing business model, right? So it's a strategic framework that provides a visual chart for developing new or documenting existing business models, right? It shows how various elements of your business interconnect. So here on the diagram, you can see some various activities of the organization and how these activities are interconnected. All right. So this business model canvas is actually an innovation tool which helps to identify opportunities for business improvement, right? So what then is a business model? If we say a business model is a plan, right? A plan for successful business operation. And it identifies some various aspects of the business and provides information on what will be done in those areas. So it shows how business elements fit together in a cohesive system. All right. So the business model canvas is a way of simplifying a business model. So for your plan or for the business plan you have in mind or the model for your business, coming up with a canvas, which we call the business model canvas, creates clarity, all right? And it helps you to put all the ideas you would have put in a business plan, a detailed business plan, helps you to put all of those ideas in one single sheet of paper or on one single sheet of paper, right? And this is made possible because of the business model canvas, okay? So the canvas, the business model canvas, is a shared language and it's used for describing, for visualizing, for assessing and changing business models. It explains how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. So the BMS also is straightforward. It's a straightforward and structured tool that helps you to understand your own business model, or it helps you to also understand the business model of a competitor, right? So the same way you can develop a business model canvas for your business, you can also put together a business model canvas for a competitor, and that helps you to be able to evaluate or assess your performance against the performance of other key players in the industry. Okay. All right. So why do we use the business model canvas? The first is that it is easy to understand. The business model canvas is easy to understand. It has a simple visual format that anyone can grasp quickly, right? It's focused, meaning that it highlights only the most essential business elements. So those are the main areas that are captured in the canvas. Every other thing that is not important will not be found there. So the business model canvas is focused. It's also flexible, meaning that it is adaptable to various business types and stages, right? And then finally, it is customer focused, meaning that it puts the customer needs at the center of planning, right? Okay, so this is how the model canvas looks like, and it has various elements. There are 9 elements in the business model canvas. You have the key activities, you have the value proposition, you have customer relationships, then you have the customer segments, right? Then you have the revenue streams, you have your channels, you have your key resources, right? Then there's the cost structure. Then finally, you have your key partners. Okay, so these are the various elements of the business model canvas. We'll take each element and discuss what gets or what goes in there. The first one, you have the customer segments. All right. The customer segments is what helps you to define your audience or the people you intend to provide service to. Okay. So organizations or people your business aims to reach and serve are your customer segments, or they define your audience, or they are the people who get your attention. So there are some key questions you would have to ask, okay? You have to ask yourself who you are creating the value for, or who are your most important customers, all right? And then once you get to know who your important customers are, you segment strategically. So you group the customers by their needs, or you can group them by their behaviors, or you can group them by their attributes. And those various groups that you have become your customer segments. Based on this, you can tailor some specialized services for each of these customer segments. Then you have the second element, which is the value proposition, right? So here you are looking at what the customer is going to get, right? So what unique value are you offering to the customer? What is the customer getting from your service? Which problem are you solving? Okay, so for the value proposition, you can dwell on the customer benefits, you can look at the problem you are solving, or the product bundle that you are giving out. Okay, so which unique value are you proposing? Which customer problems are you trying to address? And what are you offering to each of the segments? Okay, remember that you have group segments based on some attributes. And so based on those attributes, you also design products for them. Okay, so what are you offering to each segment of your market? Your value proposition is the bundle of products and services that create value for a specific customer segment by solving their problems or satisfying their needs. Okay. Then you have your channels, right? So for the channels, you identify touch points. You find out how your company will reach your targeted customer segments. Okay? Do you intend to use direct channels or indirect channels? Right? Are you going to use retailers and wholesalers? All right? Or you want to deal directly with each consumer? So these are the channels. You evaluate the effectiveness of the channels you have chosen, and you also ensure that they can be integrated seamlessly. So you find out which channels work best, right? Which of the channels are the most cost efficient? And then you can also look at how the channels integrate with the customer routines. So for example, if you are targeting professionals who will be at work from 8 to 5, then you have to identify channels that will help you to reach those people. Otherwise, you may choose a channel that would not allow you to access your customer base, because by the time you want to reach them, they are busy doing other things. Okay, so you need to identify how you would be able to reach your customer segments. The fourth element is the customer relationships, right? You need to establish relationships with your customers. So what kind of relationships do your customers expect? Not what is available, but what do they expect? How do your customers expect you to reach out to them? Okay, so you establish that. Once that is established, then you maintain it. So which relationships have you already built? Right? And then you want to also evaluate how cost effective the relationships you have built are, and how easy it is to integrate this with your business, right? Then the fifth element, you have your revenue streams. So here you look at your asset sales, right? How do you intend to generate revenue from product ownership? Okay? How do you intend to charge your customers? Are you going to use a usage fee-based charge, or you are going to be charging based on service consumption? Are you going to be using subscription fees or recurring access for a set time? Will you be earning through lending, through renting, licensing, brokerage, or advertising? But you need to be able to find how you would generate revenue, okay, from your business. So it's either you are selling something, you are renting out something, or you are charging for a service that has been provided, right? Or you are taking subscription fees from users, okay? So these are the revenue streams, and you decide which revenue streams you would look at. The revenue streams is important because it's the main element that brings in funds. All the others take away from the organization, right? So it's important to look at your revenue streams well. Otherwise, you are not in business. Then the sixth element constitutes the key resources. Okay, so you look out for the essential assets that are needed to make your business model work. So what exactly do you need? What assets do you need to make your business model work? So you consider the physical, the intellectual, the human, and the financial capital that you need to make your business work. So depending on which kind of business you are coming up with. If it's a manufacturing company, then it means that there's a lot of emphasis on physical resources. But if you are going to start a software company, then the focus will no more be on the physical resources, but on the intellectual resources, or you also call them the intellectual property. Okay, so these are the main things you should focus on. Depending on what you are doing, your focus will either be on physical resources or on intellectual resources. Then the seventh element constitutes the key activities. Okay, so what crucial things should your company do well to stay in business? Okay, so if it's production, if it's problem solving, if you have a platform or a network, what exactly are you doing, okay, to ensure that your business does well? If it's not production, you are manufacturing products. Maybe you are addressing client issues, or you are maintaining platform stability. Whatever it is you are doing, okay, then it makes you know the main activity. Otherwise, you would have started a business, but you'll be focusing on unnecessary things. Okay? So if it's a production company, then you know that you are manufacturing products. Your focus will be on physical resources, right? If you are solving a problem, then you are addressing your client's issues. Okay, and this is mostly for service organizations. You are addressing the issues of your customers. That's what you are doing. If you're having a platform or a network, then what you are supposed to be doing, your key activity, is to maintain the platform stability so that at every time people can access it. Okay. Then the eighth element are your key partnerships, right? Who are your key suppliers? Who are your key partners? Why do you need key partnerships? Okay. And you would also want to look at what their motivations are, or what your motivations are. So between your organization and the partner, what are your interests? Because if you get to know your interests, each party will have their needs met. But if you don't know what each party is looking for, then people will feel cheated, or they will feel that they've been taken for granted. Okay, so you should be able to know the motivation for partnerships. And then you should also be able to minimize or reduce risk and resource acquisition, okay? And ensure that these partnerships are well documented, all right? And then the last element in the business model canvas is the cost structure. Okay, so here you would consider your most significant costs in the business model, right? If you have a cost-driven company, then you will minimize costs. But a value-driven company, most of the times, because you are thinking about the value creation, sometimes you tend to increase your spending, okay, because you want to add more features, you want to increase the value. So you would have to know which cost structure you are adopting, okay, whether you are cost-driven or value-driven. If you are cost-driven, what it means is that your product will be likely a cost leader on the market. Okay, so there are various cost structures. You may have to consider your fixed costs, the variable costs, and all of those. But at the end of the day, your organization has to come up with a cost structure. What exactly would you be spending on in that business? Okay, so basically, these are the various elements of the business model canvas. And you will notice that the key partners, your key activities, the value proposition, and then your key resources constitute the feasibility aspect of your business, right? Then your customer relationships, the customer segments, and then your channels constitute the desirability aspect of your business. And then your cost structure and revenue streams constitute the viability. So whether your business will be able to stand, whether it will be viable or not, depends on your cost structure and the revenue streams. If your business will be desirable, if your customers would want to do business with you, then it will be dependent on your customer relationships, your customer segments, and then the channels, right? And if your business will be feasible, then it depends on your key resources, your key activities, the value proposition, and then your key partners, right? So in your activity, I want you to design a business model canvas for your proposed idea. The ideas we discussed in class, we selected one for each group. So for each group, the idea that was selected, or the idea that you selected, is what you would design a business model canvas for, right? And the BMC should be displayed on a one-page diagram like what we have here. So under key partners or under key partnerships, you list your key partnerships. Under key activities, you list your key activities. Under key resources, you list your key resources. Under value proposition, you list the value proposition. Under your customer relationships, same. Customer segments, you do same. The channels, you do same. Your cost structure, you do same. And then for the revenue streams, you do the same. So you only list here. You should only put the bullet points in the diagram so that when we meet in class, you'd explain to us what each point stands for, right? So thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.